The scream cut through the noise of the terminal like glass shattering on marble, sharp, panicked, impossible to ignore. Travelers froze mid-stride, the rolling hum of suitcases halted, and even the overhead announcements seemed to fall quiet for a heartbeat. In the center of the busy airport stood a mother gripping the handle of a baby stroller, her eyes wide with shock as a large police dog suddenly lunged forward and leapt directly inside it. And before anyone could understand what was happening, 3 uniformed officers sprinted toward the scene as if lives depended on it. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the unseen heroes around us every day, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. That truly helps keep stories like these alive. Amid all the chaos, no one initially noticed the true beginning of what was unfolding. It had started long before the dog jumped, before the crowd gasped, before the mother cried out. It began with a tired woman named Emily rushing through the airport, trying her best to hold herself together. She was a single mother traveling with her 2-year-old son Noah for the first time. She clutched his small bag, a worn-out teddy bear dangling from it, and the weight of a dozen silent worries hanging across her shoulders. She had lost her job 2 months earlier, spent every bit of her savings trying to start fresh for her son, and this trip was her last leap of faith. Everything felt fragile, like one wrong moment might shatter what little hope she had left. The airport itself was loud and overwhelming, but she kept smiling for her boy. Noah, resting in his stroller, hummed softly and played with the zipper on his jacket. His innocence was her anchor, reminding her why she kept pushing forward despite the exhaustion. As she approached security, she noticed a team of K-9 officers doing routine sweeps. She didn't think much of it. She simply tried to keep moving, blending into the long line of passengers, unaware that her life was about to twist into a direction she never saw coming. Among the K-9 units was Thor, a 4-year-old German shepherd known for his speed, loyalty, and almost uncanny intuition. He was a rescue dog who had survived neglect before being trained for service, and though he was brave on duty, his trainers always said he had a sensitive heart, one that reacted deeply when he sensed distress. His handler, Officer Ramirez, walked beside him, patrolling calmly. Thor's ears flicked back and forth, his nose scanning the air, pausing on scents most humans couldn't even imagine. But suddenly, something made Thor stop. His posture stiffened, his head turned sharply toward the stroller. Ramirez felt the tension in the leash instantly. Before he could command Thor, the dog pulled forward with surprising force. Ramirez tried to rein him in, thinking he had caught the scent of food, or perhaps another dog. But Thor wasn't responding to any command. His focus was locked with laser intensity. Then, in the blink of an eye, he broke free. His muscles launched him forward with a speed so sudden the officers didn't have time to react. The next second, Thor leapt straight into the stroller, landing beside little Noah. The mother screamed in shock, stepping back as the huge dog crouched protectively over her son. Travelers gasped. Someone shouted for security, and that was when the officers sprinted in, panic etched across their faces because Thor had never disobeyed commands, never broken formation, never acted this aggressively unless something was dangerously wrong. Emily stood frozen, heart pounding, fear racing through her veins. All she could think was that her fragile world was falling apart again. She reached desperately for her son, but Thor wouldn't let her near the stroller. His body was rigid, tail straight, chest heaving, eyes locked on every person around him as if shielding Noah from an invisible threat. Officers formed a circle instantly, trying to assess the situation. But then something shifted. One officer knelt closer and noticed what Thor had noticed. The color in little Noah's face was wrong, far too pale. His breaths were shallow, his fingertip had a faint bluish tint. Before anyone could react, Noah's head slumped sideways, and Thor let out a low, trembling whine deep in his throat. It wasn't aggression, it was fear. The meaning hit the officers instantly. This wasn't an attack. Thor was trying to save the child. Officer Ramirez rushed forward, checking Noah's pulse. Weak, fading, he called for medics urgently, while Thor refused to leave Noah's side. Emily's world spun. She didn't know whether to collapse or scream. She had thought he was sleeping, just tired from the long morning, but she hadn't seen the signs. The oxygen deprivation had come on silently. Noah had a history of respiratory issues, ones she prayed every day wouldn't return. And now, in the busiest place imaginable, her son was slipping away. The medics arrived within seconds that felt like hours. They lowered the stroller, placed an oxygen mask on Noah, and monitored his breathing. Emily sobbed helplessly as the realization hit her. Thor had sensed the medical emergency before anyone else, even before she had. While everyone else saw a dangerous lunge, Thor had seen a child in distress. As the treatment began working, Noah's breathing slowly steadied. His color improved. His tiny fingers twitched. Thor stayed inches away, head bowed near Noah's legs, reluctant to move until the medics assured him the boy was stable. Emily fell to her knees, her strength finally giving out as she buried her face in her hands, overwhelmed by fear, relief, gratitude, and guilt all at once. The medics transported Noah to a nearby medical room for monitoring, and Emily wasn't allowed to take Thor with her. But when she turned back, she saw Thor staring at her with eyes so gentle it almost broke her heart completely. He had risked punishment, broken rules, and overcome his own past fears, all because he sensed a child needed him. For the first time that day, Emily felt the universe wasn't against her. It had sent a guardian. Hours later, Noah was safe and recovering. Doctors explained that a sudden drop in oxygen had caused him to drift into a dangerous state. Had Thor not reacted when he did, the outcome could have been devastating. Emily walked back through the now quiet corridor to find the officers and Thor waiting outside. Thor approached her slowly, as if unsure whether he was welcome. She knelt, placed her hand over his chest, and felt the steady thump of a heart that had chosen bravery over instinct. The officers explained Thor's past, his rescue, his training, his sensitivity. Emily realized that two souls who had struggled silently, her son and this remarkable dog, had somehow crossed paths at the exact moment they needed each other most. She hugged Thor tightly, tears slipping down her cheeks, whispering gratitude he didn't need words to understand. As she prepared to leave, the officers asked if they could escort her to her gate, making sure she and Noah made it safely. The airport felt different now, not like a place of chaos, but a reminder that kindness still existed in unexpected corners of the world. If this story moved your heart even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It truly supports the channel and helps us bring more meaningful stories to you.